You sure I haven't seen this guy before? Alright, you. No cheating. Which means no beating on the other athletes. So tell Tanya to cancel the payment. Now, you gonna get started in here, or are you gonna stand here and wait for that paint to dry? Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. And we're going to start this month off by taking a look at a Velocitron figure. This is Shadowstrip. Now, many of you, especially if you were here for last week's video on Volcanicus, you'll have an idea that I'm not really all that pleased with how Walmart's exclusive figures have turned out. All we're basically getting are repaints of other toys. And that is, unfortunately, very sadly, the case with this one. Shadowstrip here is basically a redeco of the Legacy version of Dragstrip. Just painted up in different colors. However, the different colors that they are in is meant to reference the unreleased version of Dragstrip's Generation 2 colors, since apparently he would have been done in this black and gold color scheme if the Generation 2 version had gotten released. And while that is a nice detail and a good throwback, Hasbro decided instead to try to make it an all-new character. Which, you know, fine, that's okay. The problem is that they made it somewhat too similar to the previous character, so that gives it very little imagination to it. In the Generation 1 lore, Dragstrip was an extremely competitive Decepticon. He would take anything as a perceived challenge to him, and he would go to any great lengths that he could to win. So, in many cases, he would often cheat, or do any other things, like sabotage or hurt others, in order to be able to succeed. The only one he could never succeed against was his leader, Motormaster, since Motormaster had a perceived invincibility. So, no matter what Dragstrip could do, he could never win against his leader. Shadowstrip, however, has only gotten the brief mention that he is willing to hurt other athletes in order to succeed at his game. So, the eerie similarities between the two characters just makes Shadowstrip come off as more unimaginative than as a fun idea. Alright, let's take a look here at Shadowstrip's accessories. He comes with two of these blue guns, which, as I said earlier on Dragstrip's video, I did kind of like how they were set up. I did enjoy the little scope on top. And as you can also, and as you'll be able to tell, they are exactly the same gun as what came with Dragstrip. But Dragstrips are molded in black with purple accents. And of course also, just like with Dragstrip, the guns can be combined together. Fortunately, they can't be combined in his hand. The guns can be put together. Well, if I drop it on the floor, that doesn't help. Can be put together. There we go. And then re-put into his hand, and then he can carry him as one weapon instead of two. Which is alright, I guess. Really not that impressive overall. We'll just separate them, because we'll need them separate for the car mode. Now, let's take a look here at Shadowstrip's articulation. And of course, with the fact that he's just a repaint of another toy, he has the exact same articulation. The head turns from side to side. It's on a ball joint, so it will rock up and down. The arm raises out about so far, and you can rotate it at the shoulder all the way around. You can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees, and he does have a swivel at the bicep, so he has G.I. Joe battle grip. You can twist him at his hips. Seems to twist very easily. You can spread his legs apart into a full splits. He does have a thigh cut. You can bend his leg at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees. So, all in all, pretty much the same thing. And if any of you are wondering, especially if you saw our recent video on Menasor, apparently, yes, since this guy is the exact same toy as Dragstrip, if you would prefer, you can use him as an arm instead of Dragstrip. Alright, let's transform Shadowstrip. And basically we'll start here with his arms. We're going to rotate this piece out to the side here. Straighten his arms out. And we'll take the extra wheels that are folded up on his shoulders, rotate them down onto his arm. We'll pop free this area of his chest. Fold the head inside. And then we're going to rotate it. Well, first, we're going to come up here to the shoulders, fold out the sides of the car, and then bring the arms up so that they can be snapped together. And his arms should be lined up and brought in here at the sides. Then once that's done, we can rotate the section of chest where the head is, and then shift it so that it folds downwards. The posts that are right here at the bottom of it should line up with these holes here on his arms. Get those locked in. Twist him around at the hip. Then down here we can open these little hatches. Press his legs together as well while we've got it. Then we'll fold his legs inside. These little tabs here should connect to the driver's section. Fold his feet up to form the spoiler of the car, and close these pieces down here. And then there you have it. He's in his alternate form of a six-wheeled race car. But since he's basically a repaint of Dragstrip, he's basically a modified version of a Tyrrell P34 racing car. I believe that's right. But it's done in such a way so that they don't have to pay royalties. And of course, just like Dragstrip, you can connect the guns in here. And then you have an attack car. You know, this might make Formula One racing a little more exciting if the cars had guns on them. And maybe in the post-apocalyptic world we'll do that. And then right here next to him we'll put Dragstrip in his car mode, so you can see how similar they look. So now we get down to my thoughts. Unfortunately, this figure, in my eyes, is a waste of money. Because not only is he just a solid repaint of a previously released toy that we've barely had for a year now, the miniature bio that Hasbro wrote for it is pretty similar to what Dragstrip was. I don't mind them. I would probably have preferred it if they had labeled it as G2 Dragstrip instead of trying to create him as an original character. Because if you're not going to bother to do more to separate him from the original character, why are you even bothering? This is kind of part of my complaint about Hasbro reusing a lot of their molds like they do. In some cases like this just shows no imagination at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, the black color and the gold accents on Shadowstrip do look good, and I will give him credit for that. Unfortunately, as a toy and as a character, he personifies the cheapness that Hasbro has stooped with a lot of these exclusives. It makes it harder and a lot less interesting for many of us collectors to go after the exclusives if there's not going to be any effort put into them. So, alright Walmart, if you want to keep buying and putting out these cheap remakes that Hasbro isn't even going to make an attempt to be imaginative with how they are, then you're going to just have them like the others from this Velocitron series. They're going to sit on your shelves and take up space and not move at all. Because that's been a lot of the case for the Walmarts around my area. At any rate, that's my review of the Velocitron version of Shadowstrip. I hope you all enjoy it. I even did his name wrong. It's Shadowstrip, not Shadowstripe. But since I don't like the toy, who cares? At any rate, if you like the content that we feature here on this channel, please give us a like, share, comment, and subscribe. We do appreciate the feedback from our loyal and loving viewers. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.